I was trying not to cry. That was what I was trying to do. And then, as soon as I saw my kids on the screen, it kind of hit like a ton of bricks. And, I just, the memories and, the emotions of everything, just the years and the, the incredible times. And it just kind of come pouring into your memory. And it's just crazy to see.
Who says there's no crying in hockey? Not us. Welcome into Boston has entered the chat here inside the Salem 5 studios. Oh, Brad, we miss you, man. Travis Thomas here, the Kasey Hudson, Adam Kaufman. What an emotional night last night. Bees didn't get it done on the ice. 4-3, they lose. Heartbreak City to the Panthers.
Bad luck loss.
But last night was all about Brad Marchand.
Yeah, and trying to catch your breath because, the day before this entire matchup was just kind of like, what's this going to mean and feel for Brad? And, of course, we've got great insight. He had a phenomenal, very emotional one-on-one with Sophia. And then the game starts, and it's going to be all about the game. But then before the tribute video, before the lights dim, you see the constriction in his throat. You see him just holding it together, and you're just like, woo! I didn't think the emotions were going to hit him, eradicate through him like that. So before the video even went on, I bawled.
You were already crying.
I was already a mess.
Before the video, you were crying? At least the video made me go.
Because I just keep watching him, and I'm just like, don't do it, don't do it. And as I'm sitting there mentally being like, don't do it, Brad, don't do it, I'm doing it. I am slightly doing it. Yeah, not slightly. It happened.
It was a lot. Were you ugly face crying? Or just like a couple tears? Because there's a difference here.
I'm one of 4, and my siblings might have a different opinion on this, but I don't classify myself as an ugly crier. I don't.
Before the tribute video, before the lights dimmed, as you put it, Brad already got a point in this game. This tribute video came 10 minutes in to his return, which, by the way, the return 16 years to the day of his NHL debut at the Garden. So sports are going to sports.
Poetic.
Incredibly poetic, and poetic that he got a point out of the way so quickly.
33 seconds in.
Obviously, it was pretty nuts. But, listen. If anyone has not seen that tribute video, go check it out.
Obviously,
it's all over social media.
Kudos to the Bruins.
Did an incredible job with it.
Yes.
He reacted in kind. And there was some ugly crying. He was...
Some?
He was bawling his eyes out, man.
Yeah.
He was absolutely bawling, but it wasn't, he goes out on the ice, obviously, raised the stick to the crowd and waves to the crowd, and he's tapping the heart multiple times, and you could just see how overcome with emotion he was, again, visibly overcome with emotion. A good buddy of mine who was there in the crowd, shout out, hey, Mike, he was over there. He texted me right after the game. He's driving home. He's like, man, I've been to funerals with less crying than was happening in the stands in this place.
Wow.
It was just it was meltdown city at the Garden. So everybody was caught up in it. But we know this is just the beginning of whenever it is that Brad retires. I know he's in the first of this 6-year extension.
He's got a couple years left.
43. But he's not going to play that. But he's got a couple years left for sure. But we know Brad that. His old teammate, who he had dinner with over the weekend, by the way, Zdeno Chara, and he had dinner with all these guys. Chara, Tuukka Rask, Patrice Bergeron, all these dudes went out.
They said Brad paid.
Well, he should after that big payday. But Chara's 33 is going up in the rafters, come January, and eventually it's going to be 37 for Bergeron. I don't know about Rask. Maybe Rask's up there, but 63 for sure for Brad Marchand is going up there one day as well.
Yeah, listen, I'm not convinced he's done with the franchise. I know he's not going to play here again, but he talked about this in the postgame. We'll hear from Brad in a minute. But he said, look, the door's always open. If there's something I can do in the front office or with the organization when I'm done playing. But right now, I'm focused on playing, which is what he's supposed to say.
One-day contract retirement one day?
Well, maybe. Yeah. But I'm even talking just a job. I could see him in the front office somehow. We've seen that
like
team.
Chara.
That's right. We've seen this team do that and honor legends like him. Here's Brad after his emotional return to Boston.
Yeah, I knew it was going to hit me the way it did. It was extremely touching. I'm so grateful for, the moment, and very appreciative for it, for what the Bruins did to kind of put that together, and the love and the support the fans have showed me, not just tonight, but through my entire career here, and I always loved playing here and loved putting the jersey on and wearing my heart on my sleeve. So I think this is a hardworking city and people appreciate that. So I yeah, I love the fans here. They're special. They're an incredible group. I was kind of laughing later in the game because I think I got booed there at one point, and it's just, I knew it wouldn't take long, but it was a very, very special night for myself and my family.
What were you thinking and feeling in that moment as the video was playing?
I was trying not to cry. That was what I was trying to do, and then as soon as I saw my kids on the screen, it kind of hit like a ton of bricks, and I just the memories and the emotions of everything, just the years and the years and the the incredible times, and it just kind of come pouring into your memory, and it's just crazy to see. There's a lot of things that I forget, and the years all kind of bunched together. The careers go by fast. It doesn't matter how long you're in; it goes by extremely fast. And to see, a snapshot of that in a clip like that, it brings everything back, and just the amount of pride, like I said, that I have, played here and was part of this organization. I just couldn't hold it in. So it meant a lot.
We feel you, Brad. It meant a lot to us, too. Lauren tweets, me before versus after the Brad Marchand tribute video, and Kasey, samesies for you. It has to be.
Absolute samesies. I mean, honestly, the before is a picture of Pasta looking at the Panthers bench.
Yeah.
And he just kind of has this, smiles on his face. Like, he's just very much
grin.
admiring his friend from afar. And then you see the ugly cry picture there. But that was me, minus, I think I got to the non-ugly cry. I just said I'm not an ugly
She
crier.
does not ugly cry.
I think I got there sooner than that tweet implied. Shout out to Lauren, by the way. Fantastic tweets throughout the game. But yeah, it was just kind of one of those things to where, it's going to emotionally impact these guys. And that's also why you try to be strategic as to when the Tribune video takes place. But I'll say this. I mean, 7 years covering the NHL. I think that is the most emotional, ugly cry, fully let go in the moment that I've seen a player do, honestly.
Yeah, same. In any sport, maybe.
And you have to remember, this is who Brad Marchand is.
Yeah,
in
every
facet, every end of the spectrum. Just a few days ago, we see him, getting into a scrap with an opponent, Nolan there, and taking off his helmet, obviously, after they got into it.
The helmet
carrying it to the penalty box. It starts to rip it apart, the straps, the earpiece,
so what is that,
all this
passion?
stuff.
He's just a passionate
Well, it's the little ball of hate stuff that we've talked about for so many years around Boston.
Or a little ball of emotion, because I can relate on a number of ways. He did mention the fact that, a part of him wanted to throw the helmet into the crowd, but not a safe situation.
Yeah, don't want to hurt somebody.
And the fine probably,
responsible parent that he is.
Exactly. The fine would have varied maybe a little bit more after that. But
just decides to have an on-ice temper tantrum instead.
At least he didn't throw it at him.
That's true.
Well, you don't affect anyone there. By the way, just some nuggets here. The captain won a cup here. We know that. Nearly 1,000 points in 1,000 career games. Most playoff goals in B's history. I mean, his resume is
shorthanded
insane.
goals.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said this,
He almost had a shorthanded goal last night.
He sure did. And you said this earlier, and it's the quote of the day. He's forever a Bruin.
Yeah.
And
Forever
I think that encapsulates everything, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, completely unsurprising in this era, 2025, that legends of a team wind up somewhere else.
Yes.
Obviously, Patrice Bergeron could have left. Some people, there are even points, could he leave? Could he go back to Canada? Could he play there, finish out his career? But he opted to be a career Bruin. Tuukka Rask, a career Bruin. I think a lot of people, if people tend to not forget because it's talked about enough, but Bobby Orr is forever a Bruin, even though he finished as a Blackhawk.
Yes.
Ray Bourque is forever a Bruin, even though he won a cup with Colorado. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Paul Pierce is forever a Celtic, even though he was with multiple teams after his time in Boston. So it's some of these, you don't have the Kobe with the Lakers, the Dirk Nowitzki with the Mavericks, the Tim Duncan with the Spurs. It doesn't happen. In this era of free agency and the way the teams build and all of it, it doesn't happen anymore. So it honestly, sort of the ugly truth of the situation is it was certainly best for Brad to go and have an opportunity to be in a spot that was competitive, to go and win another cup, and he got his second. Maybe he gets another one or two before he's done. But it was also the best thing for the Bruins as well. And that's not Brad slander. It's, okay, we need to really embrace this rebuild. Yeah. Which, when you have a guy that is sort of the last link to your cup-winning days and all these cup appearances, it's really hard to put him through that versus the whole, let's win it for Brad. Let's go out, let's purge these assets, all this draft capital, acquire this guy at the deadline, that guy, hand out this contract, overpay for this fourth line or whatever it is.
It was meant to benefit both parties
at this point in time.
It was meant to give them a revival.
It did. Yeah. But, you know, as a result, we're looking at a Bruins team that started 3-0 under a first-year coach in Marco Sturm and now has lost 5 straight. And I thought Morgan Geekie on Bruins Overtime Live, I was checking it out after the game, I thought Morgan Geekie had kind of the line that should encapsulate all that Bruins fans feel right now, which is games like this can only be encouraging for so long. You know, they obviously they got down, who was it against Tampa, they rally and come back. They got down against Vegas, they rally and come back. Against Florida, they rally. They had 3 third-period goals last night against the Panthers. But, you know, it's all these one-goal games.
It's demoralizing.
It's all these one-goal games that you're winding up oftentimes on the wrong side of, that you can't do the moral victory thing.
It begs
What
the
happened?
question.
What happened in that game? I mean, Heartbreak City, you lose 4-3. As you said, you come back just to fall again.
Well, the way the winning goal was scored, too, that ricochet.
Well, that was...
Yeah, and we've talked about it a couple of times, actually. Like, this team is not built to chase the game. This team is not built to have to rally back. And so if you want to take the moral road for a second, then, like, last season, they were giving up leads in the third period. They were unable to kind of recommand the game in the third period.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing this whole different kind of fight and this whole different kind of push. But the hard to play against, you kind of got to go back to that for a second. Your opponent can't get ahead of you in a first period and then you're chasing the game throughout, or your opponent can't respond to your success nearly immediately every time, because that's what we saw on the road.
Right.
They would open the scoring or they would get the goal, and then seconds later, you know, your opponent finds the back of the net, ties things up, or takes the lead. So it's just this terrible ping pong game of, like, the potential is there, the capability is there, but the efficiency to make sure that they can outplay their opponent, it's not fully there.
Is that what you saw too, Adam?
Well, that's, you know, what Kasey's hitting on is early in these, I'm not saying this is true of 60 minutes, you know, because obviously we've seen, again, them mount these comebacks game after game. But early in these games, they haven't been hard to play against.
Yeah. Yeah. And and then it just goes back to, you know, the boxes that they're fully aware that they have to check, you know, like stay out of the penalty box. Well, of course, you're 33 seconds in, you're going against Brad, who knows exactly how to make sure that a penalty is going to sway in his favor, and that's what happens. So they go on the power play, and then Samoskevich is the one that put him on the board, and the assist goes for Brad Marchand. So it's just, it's coming out strong, but regardless, we've seen them open the scoring and still get outplayed in terms of, like, not being able to get back defensively and manage things, because, you know, regardless of who your opponent is, you don't want to get in these shootouts, like everyone has said since day one.
It's a 5-game skid, and it's 4 one-goal losses. They've been in these games.
Okay, so here's my question to you, because we went through this with the Red Sox. Early in the season, they're losing all these one-run games. It's driving us nuts. We're trying to figure out what's going on. But you had the benefit of a long season to figure it out, which they did. They rectified it. The rest is history. Hallelujah for Roman Anthony, right? I mean, there's a lot of hockey left to be played. Are you encouraged by that? Is this? I guess my question is what we're seeing from the Bruins right now fixable?
I think the biggest thing, Kasey, maybe you could, you know, push back if you'd like, is, you know, with the Red Sox. And I was higher on the Red Sox probably than most going into the year, but to me, they were a playoff team. To me, they were in the, you know, in the mix, which they were by the end, to win the American League East. I had reasonably high expectations for Boston going into the baseball season because of, again, some frontline players, some acquisitions, some good moves by Craig Breslow, obviously Alex Cora, having, you know, all that youth that we saw develop over the course of the year. This Bruins team, we've talked about it extensively on this show. You know, there's some talent there. There's some top-level talent there, you know, and one of their top 3 guys they've been missing extensively, Hampus Lindholm on the blue line. But it's a get-right season for Jeremy Swayman. It's a first-year NHL head coach in Marco Sturm. It's in, certainly on the bottom half of the roster, largely talent deficient. This is a team that there weren't high expectations going into the year.
Yeah.
And they're honest about that. Like Cam Neely, Don Sweeney, these guys, whether or not they want to use the word rebuild,
if they lost their first game of the
season,
season, we'd be hitting a different panic button, or maybe not hitting a panic button at all. I think their success early on really just kind of put us all on a high.
But there is no panic button, right? I think it's just,
I'm not, but some are. Like, some are already saying, like, hey, this team's going to be hard to watch all over again. Whereas just, I beg to differ in a sense of, like, if they knew exactly the system that they were running, if guys had already been largely a part of this, you know what I mean? If there had not been a new head coach involved, then you could say that the expectations needed to be set here and the execution also needed to match. But you got to be realistic to the wiggle room of adaptation and these guys getting acclimated. We're seeing a number of line changes that took place on the road. Like, Zacha was, talked about as a great centerman, and then a couple days into camp was punched out to the wing, and then starts the season at wing, and then now over the last couple of games goes back into center. You got Casey Middlestat playing left wing, which he hasn't done. They play with it a little bit here and there to get him going, but primarily it was back in his Buffalo days, 2022-23, that they tried that out when he was flanking Dylan Cousins and Akaposo on the other side. So it's just like everything that they're trying to do to see what's going to stick. I think that they just still don't know what's going to stick yet. Maybe the bottom six, the third line tends to stay, relevantly the same, and then the fourth line, night in and night out, one of their better lines. But you've got to figure out synergistically what is going to work for you consistently with your top six guys to answer any questions.
As I sort of turn the page for the Bruins now, could I argue you got a get-right game tomorrow night at home against the Ducks?
I don't think so.
I wouldn't call it get right.
I don't think you can call it that as well.
Yeah, I agree.
This Ducks team is good, man. Had a 5-2 win last night. You have Chris Kreider.
Chris Kreider's been unhinged.
Damn it.
Brandlin, Mrazek.
Yeah, and then you've got,
they gotta win
by
sometime.
the way, let's talk about another instigator who can make this a special teams game hands down, Jacob Trouba. And, you've got guys that are in the mix here that can be very irritating, which means we're going back to the discipline, back to the don't end up on the penalty kill for the entirety of the game. 5-on-5 scoring has to step up tremendously if this team is going to compete. And then, Lucas Dostal, they just invested in the guy to be their guy. And he's had some surprising goalie results and performances for this Ducks team. So, this is one of those, you can't count anybody out. Not until you figure out your stuff first.
What you just said about special teams, I think, is going to be particularly relevant to this game, too.
Sure.
Because, we always talk about 5-on-5 and the importance of 5-on-5. But you have a Ducks team that's hitting at 25% on the power play, and a Bruins team that's 90% on the penalty kill.
Right.
So your strength versus my strength, which one hits?
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Trouba's getting in on the mix for these guys to find scoring chances and opportunities. And you've got a handful of players, 2 Rangers, they're in prove-it seasons after this dismissal from their team or their franchise that they thought they were going to be a part of forever. A captain being moved over to the Ducks. So some narratives that are just really going to challenge the Bruins here. But again, they've got to figure out their stuff first.
As always, you can catch all your Bruins action right here on NESN. We'll have that game tomorrow night. I'm hoping it's a get-right game. I will be betting on the Bruins, but that hasn't looked good for me so far. But I'm going back to that well. Call us, 617-790-0928. Get in here. We're talking bees. We're talking Brad Marchand's emotional return. When we come back, we're talking what's trending in the world of sports. We'll do that next right here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Stay with us.
Are those jazz hands this time?
Spirit finger. Time now to see what's trending in the world of sports. Women's baseball here in Boston. Have you heard the Women's Pro Baseball League has selected baseball as one of its host cities for Boston, baby. Come on, the start of a revolution. Case, this is beautiful work.
Oh, my gosh. And no way, Boston about to own New York in another league.
That's right, Claire.
I love the confidence off the top rope. That's my only wrestling thing that I could ever give as an input to, if you guys hear it.
And whenever it's off the top rope, you're dialed in.
I'm exactly. I'm right there. This is an off the top rope move.
This is the old, 8-team NBA, the original 6 in hockey, right? We have 4 teams, okay? It's Boston, it's New York, as given away by the tweet.
Claire.
And then you have Los
Claire.
Angeles, Claire, and San Francisco.
Yeah.
All chosen based on market size
Makes sense.
and large fan bases, presence, all of that. It's interesting. I mean, it's first pro baseball league for women, obviously, going back to the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League. That was the group that inspired a league of their own. I feel like I should be in my Jimmy Dugan
He should. It was a great
jersey,
film.
the Peaches
Great
jersey.
film.
Maybe I'll wear that one next time I'm here. But it dissolved in 1954, so it's been, what, 75 years or whatever it's been since we've had that. And so it's interesting, and I think obviously the timing is right, Kasey. I mean, it's inspired in large part by the success, increased popularity of the WNBA, of the Professional Women's Hockey League, Professional Women's Soccer League, and so it's baseball's turn. But
Expand on expand.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great for the city too. Like all the women's sports we have here, as we mentioned. We just had March Madness here. The World Cup's coming here. I mean, all eyes on you, NFL.
We like sports around here.
We do. And listen, I know it's cold. Who gives a damn? Don't be soft, okay? Get me the draft here.
Not
Get me a Super Bowl.
Not gonna happen.
Neither?
No.
Damn.
Neither. You know what?
Because of Gillette? Because how far?
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, what else is
Route 1
around?
traffic
I knew
for
you
a
were
Super
going
Bowl.
there.
No, but that plays into it. There's
People
no
have to be airdropped in.
Right.
Honestly.
Could you do a draft?
No,
a draft could work.
Here's what could happen. NBA All-Star Game.
NBA All-Star Game. MLB All-Star Game again. It's been a while.
I would love that. I mean, that home run
So I
derby
guess
is
we're
the
just
most
out of the football
electric
rotation.
home run derby ever
Well,
back
that was
in 99.
well, you had steroids there. You're not going to have
Great.
steroids in this
It
one.
made the game better.
You're not going to have.
Bring
I know.
back
That's my
steroids.
point. You're not going to have
That's
steroids.
not a hot take, is it? Bring back the steroids.
Bring the All-Star game back to Fenway.
I love
and roids.
baseball. Baseball was a
Oh my
better game with
gosh.
performance enhancers.
How about where the past meets progress? That's where this women's baseball
Am I
team
wrong?
is going.
The look.
Well,
crying.
we don't need steroids to come back.
No.
People,
And they all but
people have the TB12 method.
That's
Like,
right.
just
Manny
cut it out.
Ramirez.
Thank you.
Manny Ramirez was docked multiple times for steroid use.
Non-chemical knees, non-chemical joints. Let's move past
And he
the
is
chemicals.
foolishly not in the Hall of Fame for it. Manny,
Yes.
A-Rod, Clemens, Bonds, McGuire, Sosa. Like, put all these guys, put them in their own wing in the hall. You don't want to give them a plaque, don't give them a plaque. You're going to tell me the Red Sox were a more fun watch without Manny Ramirez?
To the viewers at home,
Please.
I apologize. This was my fault. I took us. This is
you
what
did
I do.
this.
We were on the track, and then you got me going, yeah, and now we're off. I'll bring us back here. We're just saying Boston is the best sports city in America. Can we cheers to that?
And we
deserve
that's how we
all
got
the
there.
Continue to
sports.
make
Sure,
that
how
case.
We
do
deserve
invite
all the
water.
Hydration
sports
station.
and all the
All
events.
the sports.
Bring them all to us. All right,
Yeah.
did you see this? We talk a lot about Chapel Bill and some of the drama going down in UNC, but Bill Belichick has advanced in the Pro Football Hall of Fame voting. Duh, as he should. He should be a first ballot Hall of Famer as far as I'm concerned. Alan tweets this, kind of cute. Him and his girlfriend are both class of 2026.
Like the emojis, too. The blushing emoji.
I had a shots fired.
You had a
sound
shots
effect.
fi- I mean, both.
Those were weak shots, though.
Both,
so,
though.
yeah.
I mean, look, Bill should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I get it. No one likes a guy. He's socially awkward. His EQ isn't high. Fine. Dude could coach. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. If he's not, it's because of politics and BS, because people don't like him, and you all know it.
So I'm just going to do a little devil's advocate thing, just got here. But from things that I've heard, like,
You've heard.
was it his team?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, we're not
Was it-
doing Brady
I-
versus
Here we go.
Bill.
I'm
Well,
just-
then again,
I
didn't
am
we
just-
just do Vrabel versus Drake
We
the other
did.
day? So I guess
People
who am I
got
to
at
talk?
us, too.
Who am I to talk?
People in the comments, you gotta watch the whole clip. I mean, you take 10 minutes or something, you're like, you guys are trying to create drama. No, we said we're not trying to create
It was
drama.
actually,
so we're passing it out.
actually the opposite. We were we were like over the top giving
Yes.
praise to everybody involved.
Come on.
I'll tell you what, though, the whole if we were, I don't want to, if we were to do the whole Brady versus Bill thing, which I am firmly in the camp that
It's already over.
that they do it together. Like, those things don't happen
Without one
without
the
one
other?
another. All of that, like, that is the camp that I live in.
Uh-oh.
But at least the people who are pro Brady versus Bill, anti-Bill in this discussion, I mean, they got a hell of a lot more weight at this point in time between Brady leaving immediately winning a Super Bowl versus Bill, who's a sub 500 winning quarterback coach without Tom Brady, be it in Cleveland, here in Foxborough when he was here, and now the disaster happening in North Carolina.
I'm
But
not
he's still a
trying to-
Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He's
Right.
absolutely
He's a first
a
ballot Hall of Famer.
That depends on the committee. This doesn't. It doesn't
disagree.
happen.
I
Well,
disagree.
you can't disagree with facts. It's up to the committee to to vote him through past all these other semifinalists against other builders. It just works differently. If it worked in the traditional sense of like a player, like Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, these guys are first ballot Hall of Famers just because of the way the selection process worked. If it works the same way for a coach, then I'd agree with you.
I'm not questioning the process. I'm saying if he doesn't get in, they're full of shack.
There is a stigma. It can't be argued. There's a stigma against that era of the Patriots.
Sure.
Robert Kraft is still not
so you're
in the
saying
Hall of Fame.
This could creep in and bump out the hands-down first ballot situation.
It's not going to prevent Bill from getting in one day.
This is about first ballot.
But he is not essential. But he may not be Allen class in 2026 because of, again, Spygate and Deflategate and all of these things. BS or not, it goes into the conversation because these are humans voting. You're not just, in based on achievement. If it were an achievement, 6 Super Bowl wins, 9 appearances, a billion division titles, and AFC championship games, and most wins other than Don Shula, and all of the 8 rings if you include his time with the Giants. Like, of course, based on merit, Bill Belichick belongs in Canton, Ohio.
Sure.
But it doesn't entirely work that way.
And that's my beef.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Yeah, look at his resume. Listen, I'm not someone who says he doesn't deserve some credit. Those early Super Bowls, I'm sorry, Bill deserves a lot of credit because those were defenses.
Yeah.
Not that Tom wasn't great in clutch. Vinatieri did his thing. But honestly, you don't win those early Super Bowls without Bill's contributions and the defense and the mastermind.
Why isn't Vinatieri in the Hall yet?
That's another one.
Actually,
this is BS. This is my point. This is
we have no time for that one, that's for sure.
Hey, Lou Merloni joins us next to talk Red Sox offseason. Roll with us. We're going to keep arguing about Bill.
And other
thing.
See?
Welcome back. The Boston has entered the chat. Let's bring in the big gun, baby, Lou Merloni, to talk Red Sox offseason with us. Hey, thanks for getting up early with us, my friend. Welcome.
Early? My kid, I get him up at 5:45. I got to get him on a train. Are you kidding me? I've been up for 3 hours. I'm ready to go.
You shock everyone with that early stuff. Lou, you're making us look bad. We've all been up since 3 hours ago.
And you have kids. It's not like you don't know.
Yeah, it's true, Lou. I should have known better. Look.
Bachelors are asleep at 8:30, maybe.
This is one of the million reasons why I love you. So I'm going to set you up here. So when the season was over, when it was official, and the Yankees beat the Sox, we ran a season wrap from you that was like 2 minutes long. And I swear to God, bro, I've never lied to you. I caught the baseball Holy Ghost because you hit every bullet point of the season. You spoke to all of us as fans and media members with your season wrap. So I'm not going to ask you to replay that here. What I am going to do, though, because one thing I know you love doing is humbling haters. What would you say to some of the Red Sox off-season haters out there? Because I see this on my timeline all the time. People saying, they're not going to spend any money this offseason. Why are you guys falling for this? Meanwhile, Lou, they got 3 All-Stars last offseason. This team is proving that, look, we're going to put a good product out here. The championship window's wide open, Lou. Yeah. I think they're due for a great offseason, and I imagine you do as well.
Well, ultimately, they have to prove it, right? They have to go out there, spend the money, and get the guys, okay? But I'm with you. A lot of people are already upset at John Henry and Craig Breslow for not doing anything, and before they've done anything. And to your point, I thought Breslow had a very good offseason last year. It was Crochet, it was Chapman, it was Bregman, and also Justin Wilson, who had a pretty good year for you as well. So let's just sort of wait and see. And I would say this, to be honest with you, since 2020 in the Mookie Betts trade, this has been a rebuild. Okay, rebuild the system, get some arms in here. And the Red Sox and John Henry, for as far as I know, has always been like, if I think we can win, I will spend. If I don't, I'm not going over that luxury tax. You can agree to disagree or that, whatever you want. But this team right now showed last year that the youth is here, that they're ready to win. They have an ace, they have a closer, they have a young star. They have a very good team and a deep team. And now it's time. So ultimately, like I said, they have to spend. If they don't do anything, we will all sit there and we will talk about it, right? We will get on them for not doing anything. But let's wait and see first. I think they will act.
Yep.
Well, this is why we tap on you, and I feel like it's almost an initiation at this point when we finally get guys like you to join us in the morning. He mentioned, he being Breslow, that they need to move the needle, and that's where they're going to be inspired to make off-season moves. What moves the needle for you? Outside looking in, what's one of the first steps that this team can make? Because there's so much talent. The young guys are making this future very bright for this team. I mean, the winnability feels like now or closer than it was beforehand. So what moves the needle for you, Lou?
A number 2 starter behind Garrett Crochet. That's the move. You have a lot of depth. You have a lot of young, promising arms that a lot of people like, and for good reason. You are developing more. You are drafting more. But I want to see that veteran with Crochet. Now, I want a 1-2 punch. You got a lot of young kids that can fill that back end of that rotation and could be stars. I want to see more of them. However, I think you need that guy to go with Crochet. You have to bring Bregman back, right? I mean, to get even, you have to bring Bregman back, and then you have to add on top of that. So to me, I don't see them diving into, say, a free agent pitcher. I can see the trade for the pitcher. I can see Bregman coming back and the big free agent signing and another power bat.
Let's go back to the starters, because I think everyone's fantasy, and it goes back to the trade deadline, obviously, is a guy like Joe Ryan. You know, a guy up term, a guy who's young, a guy who's a number 1 elsewhere, but here clearly would slot in as a 2 behind Crochet, who's a Cy Young caliber pitcher. But it's not, you know, that guy that is maybe a 2 somewhere else. He'd be a 3 here, but you're forcing him into that 2 situation. You know what I mean? Like, it needs to be a viable Joe Ryan type. If it's not Joe Ryan, who is it to you?
Sandy Alcantara is another one. I thought that a guy coming off of Tommy John last year kind of has that, like, foundation year, and at the end of the year, his last 8 starts look more like the Cy Young candidate that he is. He's a name. Hunter Green, I don't know what the Reds are thinking. I guess they really need hitting, but I don't know why you'd give him up. But if he's available, he's another guy you're involved in. So I think, you know, there are some trades out there. There are also, you know, and to me, there's also some smaller signings rather than top of the level free agency. But those 2 guys, Ryan, Hunter Green, obviously if he's available, Alcantara, you know, Mackenzie Gore. Now that Taboni's out in Washington, he knows your minor league system. So I think you're going to get a number 2, I think, through trade.
Hey, I know I'm playing fantasy baseball here, Lou. There's a lot of talk that Scooble could be available too. Now that's gonna be expensive, Lou. It's gonna be expensive. But damn it, if you tell me my offseason I get Scooble to go with freaking Crochet, are you kidding me?
Pedro and Schilling again. Let's go.
Lou, come on.
Yeah. I mean, if you have those 2 guys in the staff, I mean, that is just, you know, it's unfair, really, for the top 2. The only problem is it's going to give up a ton to get him, and you're also running the risk of, you need to know if you can get an extension done. You know, are you going to go to free agency? You know, am I going to give up a ton only to watch him walk like what the Yankees did with Juan Soto? I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, sure. Fair point. I want to ask you sort of a big picture playoff question, because we'll get to the World Series predictions later. But as you watch the Blue Jays and the Mariners advance, even on the NL side, as you watch this thing play out, do you think a healthy Red Sox team could have gone deeper than we think? Or like we're talking about this offseason, right? You need more pieces. Do you just feel like they weren't quite ready yet to go deep into this postseason? Or do you think a healthy team could have done it as you watch these other teams be successful, Lou?
See, yeah, the thing is, when you say healthy, it's like, okay, does that mean, obviously, Roman Anthony?
Right.
Meyer.
But does that mean Fitz, Dobbins, you know, these other guys? Because you didn't have enough arms. Like, I'm watching this playoffs. I'm watching what Toronto's doing with Louis Varland. And it's like, I get it. Like, he's your high leverage guy. I'm afraid that, like, if the Red Sox were still this deep, Whitlock would be back in the operating table again. We have to use him so often. These guys, so you need a ton of relievers, high leverage relievers. You needed starters, that 4th, 5th starter to go out to that bullpen. Your 4th, 5th starter was Conley Early and Harrison and Tolley. Like, you didn't have enough at the end of the year when you look at what it takes to get through the postseason. You know, and so a healthy team, you probably beat the Yankees. Maybe you beat Toronto, but it's like I just don't think you had enough. These guys, you see the way they're getting used?
Yeah.
They're getting used every single day.
Yep.
And you just lost too much pitching.
Yeah, you mentioned Tolley and Early there. What do you see for those two? Because at one point, you know, there was projection that maybe they could slot in the starting pitching, and then, of course, we see them get moved down to the bullpen. What do you want to see out of these guys, at least from the sample size we got?
Well, I think Early's the most polished one, right? He looks like a big league starter who hits 5 pitches that can throw for strikes and attack you differently. Tolle is still a year away. He's like an off-season away from trying to find something soft, whether that's a changeup, whether that's a Garrett Crochet sweeper. You know, we always say, like, it's his first year really in full pro ball. Like Conley Early, if you called up Conley Early after his first year, he wouldn't have looked like this. But he goes into an offseason, he goes into the lab, he fine-tunes some breaking stuff, he gets some more power in his game, and then we saw what he looked like in year 2. So I want to see what Tolle looks like in year 2. I want to see, you know, the slider / cutter, whatever it is. I want to see if there's a changeup or a slow breaking ball to go with that power to make the fastball even better. So neither are finished products. Although Early looks like he's closer, you know, so both of them are very promising. The question will really be, because we love him here, and if you think you're going to get a number 2, the rest of the league loves him too.
Yep.
And you're going to be wondering if they're going to be asking for him.
Going back to Bregman, when he signed that 3-year, 120 opt-outs after each season last year, it felt like, you know, typical Scott Boras, right? But it felt like kind of a mercenary contract. Comes in, he was impactful. I know it didn't necessarily end well. There were injury issues the last, call it, month plus of the regular season, missed some time earlier on in the year. Even still, he was an all-star for the first time in years. Statistically, had himself a very good season. I'm sure you've spoken to him plenty. Do you feel like, we know he wants the payday, and Boras is going to get him the payday.
Oh, yeah.
All things being equal, does he want to be back here, or do the Red Sox have to overpay in any way to get him back here?
Yeah, I think he wants to be back here. I think the Red Sox want him to be back here, and I think he will be back here. You know, I am not going to pay attention to every stupid report that I read from people that don't know anything about who's interested and where he's going and everything else. I'm not doing it. I'm not playing the emotional game. I'm not. Scott Boras is going to go out there. He's going to throw out the leaks to all of his media members and how the Red Sox aren't involved and how the Yankees are and the Phillies are and everybody else is. And in the end, I think the order is you go out and do your thing, Scott. This is why I pay you. And in the end, get me the most money you possibly can out of Boston because that's where I'm going back. Now, I could be completely wrong, but that's how I think this thing plays out. I'm hitting the mute button anytime I see a Bregman report, and I'm just going to wait till this thing gets finalized.
Lou is a savage.
I always say I'm not tall enough for the emotional roller coaster ride. You all are very clearly taller than I am, but I agree with that. Don't hop on.
He's a savage, dude. He's a savage. Hey, Lou, you brought up a power bat in the lineup. I always make Kasey laugh with this because I say the Red Sox are missing a big, burly lumberjack type guy
rocks, so
that chews on rocks. So I mean,
stronger than get out.
You just want Schwarber back.
Yes.
Is what
So
you're
with
saying.
that description,
that's what you want.
with that description, Lou, there's only 2 choices: Schwarber, who should have never left, but that's another topic for another chat, and Pete Alonso. I mean, hey, if I give you a blank checkbook here, which one of those 2 do you want, or is there someone else that I'm missing?
Interesting enough, maybe Pete Alonso.
Okay.
Strictly because I think you need a right-handed power bat. I love Schwarber, but here's the thing with Schwarber. I don't think there's a chance in hell Dave Dombrowski lets him leave.
Yeah.
I really don't. I think it's a great atmosphere. I think it's a great city. I think Schwarber loves it. I think they love him. And I just don't see that happening unless somebody blows it out of the water. I don't know.
Okay.
But Alonso just fits. It's at first base. You know, you can slide into a DH spot at some point, but you need right-handed power. You see the way the playoffs go, right? I mean, the Blue Jays seem to be done. They're about to go home, and here comes the 3-run homer, right? Like that's something that you need. You need someone sitting in that 4-hole, 3-hole, 5-hole, whatever, that's going to potentially hit you 40. And that's what Alonso does. He plays every single day.
Okay.
Any players on your wish list that could bolster this batting lineup, considering, again, health being a major key for this team next year?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's I'm sort of looking at Pete Alonso at first base, and then we got to wait and see if outfielders get traded. You know, if you need a 4th outfielder, if you need a starting outfielder, is a second baseman, you know, kind of in play, or do you feel like if you bolster everything around you can throw enough bodies at that position because you do have a lot of different guys that can play there. So as far as names go, I mean, to me, Bo Bichette is your Bregman insurance. You know what I mean? I just want to know how long Bregman's going to take, or I should say Boras is going to take to get this thing done. That's the biggest pain in, you know what, how long the offseason lasts. But I think Bichette is another name that I really enjoy. Now, I don't know if he's a shortstop anymore.
Yeah.
But second base, third base, we'll see.
Yeah.
So unless you disagree with me on this, and please push back if you do, but I think we all believe it's a foregone conclusion that the Dodgers are going to win this World Series. Yet another ring, by the way, number 4 for Mookie Betts, so that's fun to watch as a Red Sox fan. But what I want to ask you is, you know, you played the game for a while. You played with and against a lot of great players. And I've been saying I've felt this way for a long time, but it just becomes more true by the day. Shohei Ohtani, man, is... I mean, is there any argument against this guy being the greatest baseball player ever? Not just that we've seen in our lifetimes, because I know we weren't around for Babe Ruth, but what this guy is doing against the level of competition that he is doing it against. I can't fathom that we're ever going to see anything like this ever again.
Yeah, no, to me, he's the greatest player ever. I mean, just because of what he does. He's throwing 100 when healthy on the mound. You know, and then it was like, well, his value is because he's a pitcher. He's like, okay, hold my beer, because I'm going to go out and DH and win an MVP and steal 50 backs. Like he's the greatest player in the world, greatest player ever. And it's kind of funny because before that clinching game, we were a day away, or at least a week away, leading into the World Series, talking about how Ohtani's a playoff disappointment and hasn't done anything. And then he single-handedly goes out and he wins a baseball game with the greatest single performance ever by a baseball player. So it's he's something else, especially when he's healthy and on the mound.
A modern-day Steve Nebraska, for anyone who gets that reference.
Hey, Lou, what are we thinking here? Dodgers in 5? That's where I'm at.
Dodgers in 3.
They just waved the white flag. We're good.
Yeah. I had to start doing math there for a second.
The problem is they are exactly who we thought they were, right?
Yeah.
We've heard that one before. And they're the greatest team in the world. We saw when they accumulated that talent. The only question was, can they stay healthy when it matters most? And right now, your rotation with Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow, and Ohtani, you have 4 Cy Young candidates when they're healthy. Unfortunately for the Jays, they're healthy. They're also well rested. They haven't grinded through a playoff like Toronto has, you know, with every pitcher they have. Like they're just rested. They're healthy. They have 4 starters when healthy. Might be 4 of the top. You tell me, 10 pitchers in the game? 15 pitchers in the game, like all of them. This is why they're great, and they're healthy at the wrong time for the Blue Jays. I love the Blue Jays. You know, I love everything about them, the way they grind it out. Bo Bichette may actually hurt them coming into this lineup as late as he is and not swinging a bat. If they try to pigeonhole him into this lineup, we'll see. It's just unfortunate, that injury. But I don't see how you can beat that rotation.
Oh, and they're going to be in the market, the Dodgers, for Kyle Tucker.
Of course they are.
And whoever else.
Of course they are.
Yeah,
Endless money.
It's all good.
I mean, this isn't, if we're being honest, I'm sure Lou agrees, this isn't even a great Dodgers team. It's just, they're unbelievable. And you're right. They're healthy at the right time. Lou Merloni, you know we love you. He never sleeps because of his kids and baseball, and that's why we love him. We appreciate you, my friend. We'll have you back next week. Thank you, Lou.
Anytime. We'll see you guys next week.
No doubt. All right, when we come back, we're talking basketball. Celtics in action tonight, baby. We're breaking it down. Come on, C's.
We are back now talking C's, and if you're looking at your screen right here from the Boston Celtics, we have an injury report for the showdown versus the 76ers. Jaylen Brown, left hamstring strain, questionable, all caps there. And then, of course, Jason Tatum, right Achilles repair, out in all caps, as we know. But fans are kind of having some wave of emotions here. That Jason Tatum, right Achilles repair, all caps, available tweet will send chills down my spine. I feel you, Harrison. I have chills also, but I also am trepidatious to get too excited. Welcome back in to the Salem 5 studio. Boston has entered the chat to break down some basketball from the baseball.
Finally.
All right. Thumbs up, thumbs down really quick from both of you before I let you guys just completely go ham.
Okay.
Did you get chills down your spine for the thought that Jason Tatum is available this season?
Well, look,
I don't want to see him this
Adam,
season.
thumbs up, thumbs down first.
I don't want to see him.
I'll give you a thumbs up. I want to take Harrison's tweet a step further. What was it? Jason Tatum, right Achilles repair, right? That's what it said.
Dr. Kaufman.
Harrison, when it says Jason Tatum, right Achilles repair.
That's why he didn't want to participate at first.
When it says questionable, that will send chills down my spine, let alone available. I am fully fully expecting this guy to play this year, maybe by Halloween.
I was going to say, can we take the shot back out to see the contrasting emotions here?
Look, if I'm being realistic, like I goof around about Halloween, about Thanksgiving. If I'm being realistic, January, February, March, we're going to see Jason Tatum back in uniform for the Celtics this year. Don't give me that look. He's going to play January, February, March.
Go ahead.
8 months from the injury. That is not like medically impossible. We've seen it. Wesley Matthews did. Wesley Matthews. You think he's a fine-tuned athlete to the degree that Jason Tatum is? He is going to come back. I promise you he's going to come back. I'll make a little side wager with you that Jason Tatum is going to play at some point this year. Here's what bugs me about the tweet. No fault of the Celtics, by the way, because they, I'm sure, like by league mandate, have to do this. But do we have to do the Jason Tatum out thing every game?
Every single game?
For the next, I don't know how many weeks or months.
For months.
Like it was annoying with Porzingis last year. Now we got to do it with Tatum every single game.
Well, at least we know what's wrong with Tatum. We didn't know what the hell was going on with Porzingis. I still don't know. I still have an
mystery illness.
Yeah. We'll
but
never
look,
know.
the Celtics are hosting Philadelphia tonight, who do have Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
He is going to play the one preseason tune-up where, by the way, 14 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds in 19 minutes. 7 rebounds in 19 minutes against Minnesota. What do you think he's going to do against the Celtics front court tonight? Pretty much. But there's no Paul George.
Yeah.
Jared McCain, the standout rookie last year, is out with a UCL to thumb injury. Watford as well. You know, we'll see what we get out of George because he didn't play in the preseason, didn't participate all that much in camp. You know, I'm kind of amazed the Celtics are actually favorites in this game.
They are favored, yeah.
I mean, barely, you know, a couple of points, but that in and of itself surprises me.
You guys know occasionally I dance in the rumor mill just a little bit. So, like, granted, between the injuries that you just mentioned, supposedly they are going through their own structure changes. So running a new scheme. And we've heard, and we're feeling ourselves in other sports, what it takes for a team to successfully now implement something new to them. So now they're trying to ramp up their pace, be one of those fast-paced teams that make it very hard to defend against, but can everybody have the buy-in to be successful in that sense? Maybe that's why the Celtics come in as favorites for tonight.
Smoke and mirrors. Look, I don't give a damn what pace you run or what new toy that Joe Mazzulla has drawn up or what the hell ever. This is all you need to know, and I'm glad you brought up Embiid. Who for this team, big picture, who's going to rebound? Who's going to rim protect?
It's gang rebounding, man. You know, it doesn't gang rebounding. Doesn't need to be the one guy getting 10 boards a game or something like that. Now, between the collection of, brace yourselves, right?
Gang rebounding, he calls it.
Nimi Keita.
Oh, Lord.
Luka Garza. I'm trying. Chris Boucher.
Kyle, whiskey,
who am I missing that's not
whiskey?
Al Horford, Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Cornett, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's
as I was saying.
It's not ideal. It's not ideal. Look, it's the worst front court in the entire NBA.
So as I was saying,
it's a G League front
who's
court.
Gonna rim protect?
It's a G League front
who's
court.
Who's going to rebound?
But
I want to hear anything.
And I know you could delve into the box scores and look at the actual rosters of these games, but the Celtics out-rebounded their opponents in every game this preseason.
Stop. I ain't talking about no damn preseason. Here's the other place I want to go with you.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Dr. Kaufman.
Yes.
You said Jason Tatum, January, February, somewhere in there, get him back. Okay, let me ask you this. If you're an 8th seed at that time, or you're in the play-in tournament, Bill, why are you bringing him back?
I'm not worried about that.
You should go the other way.
Be a top 6 seed, a playoff team.
Oh, please. I'm preaching this.
Do you know how bad the Eastern Conference is?
That's exactly where I'm going. I know I'm wearing this shirt, but hear me out.
You just like
I want this team to tank.
No,
I want you to get to January.
You want the asset.
Now, here's where I'll agree with you. If you get to January, February, where you said, and you are in the thick of it. You are a 4 or 5 seed. You look like, okay, Mazzulla's doing a great job, which I have questions about.
All boxes check.
Jaylen Brown's doing it. Yeah, all boxes check. Jaylen Brown's cooking. Derek White.
All-star season loading.
Doing great.
Anthony Simons.
You're not going to trade him. You're going to keep him. He's balling. Okay, then we can have that conversation at that time. Where you and I disconnect is number 1, gang rebounding. Number 2, I don't believe that's where the Celtics will be. I think the Celtics will be towards the bottom of the barrel in the Eastern Conference in terms of playoff picture.
If they played in the Western Conference, we could have that conversation.
Just in terms of playoff picture.
Fine, in terms of playoff picture. Let me interject here for a second, because in order to get to January, February, we need to get through game 1.
Okay.
How do the Celtics beat the 76ers tonight?
Gang rebound.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get out-rebounded, and if you don't, it's because, Joel Embiid plays 20 minutes, and Andre Drummond is somehow a non-factor on the glass. I know he's a dinosaur in today's NBA, but the dude's still big and rebounds incredibly well. Yeah, I think there are ways to win this game, though, without holding the rebounding advantage.
And what does it mean with Jaylen Brown being questionable, time, all
Brown's
these
going to
things?
play. I mean, Brown said as much the other day when he was meeting with the media.
He's going to play.
It's day-to-day nonsense. He's going to play. I mean, I'm not saying the hammy injury is illegitimate or anything like that, but Jaylen Brown is going to be out there.
Yeah.
I think the way they win this game, beating around the bush, the way they win this game ultimately is having a really solid shooting night. And you know that this team, nothing's changed in terms of the Missoula ball. They're going to take 45 three-point attempts in this game. And if you shoot 40% from three, which is not unrealistic, obviously, for this team, you still have, you can include Brown if you want, but even if he's not obviously your top three-point shooter, but between Derek White and Peyton Pritchard and Anthony Simons and Sam Hauser, if you're out there and you connect on a healthy chunk, again, 40+% of your three-pointers, and you're taking them at that volume, that all of a sudden becomes a very winnable game. Let's not forget the Sixers sucked last year. Now, they had a ton of injuries. Embiid, George, Maxey. These guys played a total of 15 games together, and already 0 for 1 because Paul George is ruled out tonight. And again, not having McCain, that is a factor. Not having a fully healthy Embiid, that is a factor. So what's Maxey going to do? What's Quentin Grimes going to do? What's VJ Edgecombe in his NBA debut, who had a great preseason, by the way, 3rd overall pick? What's he going to do in this one? I think there are just a lot of unknowns. It does surprise me. It's still, if I'm betting this thing, I'm still inclined to take the Sixers with the points because I just can't believe that they're dogs in this game, even in Boston. But I do expect a close game. I think Boston's going to be in the mix. I'm not going to be at all shocked if the Celtics win this game, but we've talked about this with the Bruins before, right? When a team is kind of going through it, a rebuild, a retooling, a restructure, whatever word you want to put on it, your margin of error shrinks dramatically versus what it was last year and the past multiple years when Boston has been a true championship contender. That's not what the Celtics are right now, on paper, on the court, in reality. And so things need to break right for you versus last year where you could get away with some stuff.
Listen, this team's going to lose tonight, 124-114. Joel Embiid's going to it's going to be a high-scoring game because I actually agree with you with the pace and the shooting and all that. This is what Missoula does. Can we not pretend that we didn't see this guy get out-coached by a coach who unrightfully got fired last year in the playoffs?
Unrightfully?
Tibbs?
Yeah.
You thought he deserved to get fired?
They hit their ceiling. The Knicks hit their ceiling.
Okay, well, fine. He got out-coached by a coach that got fired, rightfully so, in Dr. Kaufman's world. But I'm telling you right now, I don't believe in Missoula making adjustments necessary. I don't think this team is good enough. I think they lose tonight because they can't stop Joel Embiid. And anytime they play a team who has a big man that can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time, it's going to be a problem for the Celtics because they don't have it.
I can walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. All right, let us know what side of the fence you are sitting on. Realistic optimism or, well, I don't know what Travis just said.
Realism.
Pessimism.
I split it against the fence. You guys know the deal. First hour right here on NESN, 8 to 9 a.m. But the arguments, the debates, everything continues over on NESN Nation from 9 to 10 a.m. Marchan, by the way, the emotions that unflooded at TD Garden. Join us over at NESN Nation right now.
Tank, please!